Hey guys, DSR here with another custom video. This time around I have my custom RX-78-1 Prototype colors. This was part of a group build with a couple friends, Justinius Builds, 00 Gunpla Reviews. I had a couple other people that don't have YouTube channels as far as I know. And yeah, we have a group on Facebook that we do group builds, and this was the first real one that I participated in, which was just an unmodified Gundam type mobile suit in a Canon color scheme. So I decided to go with this G30th RX-78-2 that I've had for a couple years and had just had basic panel lining done on it. It was kind of a test bed for when I first started panel lining and doing other stuff. And it's been sitting on my shelf for years. If you saw my robot story video, it was featured in that. It wasn't painted or anything like that, but it has been on my shelf for quite a long time, and I'm really proud of how it came out. It's one of the first kits that I've actually done modifications for painting and for seam lines. So, for example, here on the arms right here, it is separated into two pieces, and the arm joints go in, and normally when you sandwich it together, that's what holds it together. But I actually cut that out, seam lined the arms. I think I did it with a couple other areas as well, excuse me. And basically had to trim it down and then glue it in. The glue I used is this stuff right here, which is a CA or cyanoacrylate, I believe is how you pronounce it, cyanoacrylate. This is a gap filling one, and I really like it. It's really kind of hard to use and not dangerous, but you can definitely accidentally glue yourself together with some stuff. Also used some of the accelerator, or the Instaset accelerator, with the CA. To put these together, and it's really sturdy. I mean, it's not coming off of there. I'm actually pulling on it, so it works really well, especially for this. If I had used something like Mr. Cement Deluxe or Tamiya Extra Thin, it would have taken a lot longer to actually glue on there, and might not have been as sturdy. Probably couldn't yank on it and hold him up by his arms. But anyways, so yeah, this was some real modification that I did just for painting. No customization, no kit bashing, anything like that, which is what my forte normally is. It was also my first adventure in using water slide decals. I've never done it before, but with the help of a couple of my friends that are a part of the group build, I was able to figure out exactly what I was doing, and it turned out not so bad. The decals that I used are actually from the real grade. This is what's left of it. So for the most part, most of these decals did work and fit pretty much exactly right. There were a couple ones that I had to trim. I think the shoulder ones were ones that I had to trim. They were a little bit too wide, and I just trimmed the decal down so it would it wasn't as wide, or maybe it wasn't the shoulders. I think it was actually the front and back skirts that I had to trim. But it wasn't too big of a deal at all. The stuff that I used for the water slides are these, the Microset and Micro Sole from Microscale Industries. I got these at a local railroad store. I also used, I bought a set of Tamiya tweezers, and I use those for the water slides. And I also have, of course, an X-Acto knife, which was loaned to me by a friend of ours who does. I'm sorry, I'm losing track of my thought. He owns a company by my work that does vinyl wraps. So he lent me a couple knives. So that was really nice of him. And last but not least, what was I looking for? I think that was it for the decals. So I had a lot of fun doing that. As the only sticker that's actually on here is actually the eye sticker. Let me see if I can focus on here. And that's flat coated, and it came out really nice as far as I can tell. I really liked the way it came off. I wanted to use the water slide, but was afraid that it wouldn't fit exactly right on there. So I didn't do that. I just left the original sticker on, but that is the only sticker that is on here. Let me spin this around so you guys can see. I also did decals on the back skirts and on the back of the shoulders here. I didn't really do too much else decal wise, just because, you know, I wanted to get the majority of like the front ones done, and I didn't want it to be like overly decaled. I've never done it before, like I said, and I'm not a fan of having, you know, everything so decaled that, you know, that's the main point of the model. And for me, it was more of getting the colors right and everything else like that. I also did the shield, which I was really proud of. This was pretty much the first thing I did. Let me just pop it off. Whoops. That's the only thing. The way that this is painted, I need to glue this onto the shield, but I'm afraid of breaking it. We'll just leave that on there for now. Yeah, the shield, I've got the white base decal right there, and then the white ones all the way around. I left the star the original plastic color because I didn't have a yellow that I thought would match the rest of the colors. That would be too stark, so I just kind of left it this orangey yellow, and that came out really well, I think. As for paints, the paints that I used, it was a mix between some Krylon and some Model Masters spray enamel. For the black, I just used Krylon Fusion Satin Black. Let me scoot them over here. I used Krylon Satin Black. I used Krylon Fusion Flat White. For priming, which is kind of unique to me, I don't know if anyone else does it the way I do. I actually use Krylon Shortcuts, this chrome. It's more of like a silver leaf than anything. Yeah, I've sprayed it so you can kind of see if I can, yeah, gosh darn it, if I can focus on here. It's going to be hard to focus, but there we go. That's kind of the original color, is that silver leaf, and it's really reflective. It does really well with cutting through color. So, you know, red parts, red was a little iffy on this one. I did have to silver coat, then black, and then silver again for the white to not turn red and have the red bleed through. But for pretty much every other color besides red, this is fantastic for keeping it from bleeding. The red parts are Krylon Shortcuts Red Pepper. This I liked better because the Fusion or any other of the Krylon brand sprays for like reds, orange, and yellows, they only pretty much come in gloss, and they come out really, really thick, and it's hard to work with because, you know, you obviously can't thin the spray paint, and it just comes on way too thick and never really gets an even coat of color. And the red for this came out really good, I think. I really liked the way that the red came out. So I use the Shortcuts for pretty much all my reds and yellows. They're about the same price as a bigger Krylon can for this. So I mean, for me, priming with the Shortcuts, it's like $3 or $4 for a can of this. And usually, if I'm lucky, I can get one can to last an entire kit. So it's not super expensive, but it is a little bit more than just using, you know, cheap primer. But I swear by this stuff, and it's never gone wrong for me, except for in the case of a couple of the red parts. But other than that, it's been great. And then as for the joints in here and on the backpack, I used two different ones. Actually, I might not have used one of them on this. I for sure used the Model Master custom spray. It is the gray metallic spray. So the gray metallic is what I used. I also have used the black metallic, but I don't think I used that one on this one. I think it might have just been all the gray metallic with flat coat over it. So I used it for the hands as well, and so I really like the way that color came out. I need to go get some more because this can is pretty much toast. And last but not least, before doing the decals, I used just Krylon gloss coat. I don't have it with me, but just a regular can of Krylon gloss coat. I just sprayed it all over it. I think I gave it 1 or 2 coats. Nothing too serious. The gloss coat works fine on Krylon Fusion. I haven't had good experiences with the flat coats, usually because it doesn't like to stay mixed, no matter how much you shake it. I've shaken a can for 5 minutes before and still had it come out really spotty and weird. So for flat coat, I stick with Mr. Super Clear. Well, this says matte, but it is flat. It's pretty much the same thing. I think they changed the name or something, or I might have bought just the matte instead of the flat, but as you can tell, it definitely comes out flat still. I think I talked about this once when I ordered from, because I think I got all of this from Robot for Less, that they had changed, or that the name was different, even though I had bought the same product. So I'm not sure what happened with that, if Mr. Hobby changed it, or if I just got a matte instead of a flat, but either way, it's worked fantastic for me. I've never had a problem with it. And the results, I think, came out really well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's everything that I used on this kit. Oh, I also did, it was kind of one of my first experiences in masking as well. Down here you can see that red, and where the calf parts are was all masked, and I used Tamiya masking tape, as well as for some of the bigger areas, for the detail lines, I used the Tamiya masking tape. For like the rest of the leg, after I had done that, I used green frog tape, which I think I've gotten at a couple different hardware stores, Orchard Supply, which might just be local, Home Depot or Lowe's, for the rest of you guys probably, so just like that. But anyways, yeah, so this is pretty much everything I used on this kit. I'm really proud of how it came out. I definitely enjoyed it. It was one of my favorite projects to date. I'm super proud to have it on my shelf, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So pretty soon here we're going to be starting up another group build, so look out for that. I'm sure by the time I finished it, I might have a work in progress video to do. I'll definitely do one when it's completed, so look for that. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.